And welcome to another book spotlight. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do The Dance of Mervo and Father Clown. And as you can see, it is a very, very short book, and it's also very small. And I wanted to do this as a different sort of book spotlight as opposed to a regular, book. And so I want to tell you a little bit about this, the backstory to this book. So I was invited to contribute a creepy clown story to a creepy clown anthology, and I jumped on it. And I believe at the time there was like a word cap of 5 or 6 thousand words for your short story, and so I said, okay, I'll try to adhere to that, of course, because that's what you're supposed to do, adhere to guidelines, right? And I started writing, and the story I wanted to tell is I wanted to make the book kind of like your old school, creepy, Rob Zombie-esque fun house, haunted house concept, while also throwing in, of course, the important part, the clowns. And so I started writing, and I'll be honest, this story was a very, very hard write. I don't know why. I struggled. I struggled hard on this one. Sometimes that happens in my writing process. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's frustrating, and I have to really just like think and push through. And it's and sometimes people will go, well, if it's not flowing, just leave it alone. But I had this clown story invite, so I had to write a clown story. So I did, and excuse me, it took a long time to do. And when it was finished, I mean, it was much, much longer than the required 5,000 words. The publisher was kind enough to allow the story anyway, and that's good. But at the end of it was a hard write, because I wanted to bring something unique to the table of creepy clowns. I didn't want it to just be a standard story of a killer clown on the loose, and you got to run away from him or you're dead, right? So I ended up doing this whole thing involving family and involving that's the main theme actually in this story is family. And when I read the synopsis, you'll see why. But there's the family in the human side of things at the beginning of the story, and then there's family in the clown world kind of thing in the story later on. And it's to do with a tragic story. Has to do with losing a parent. It has to do with losing yourself. Even has to do with brainwashing. It has to do with a twisted killer, in this case the clown, overseeing it, Father Clown as we call him in the story. And even though the name Mervo comes into play in the story, who is Mervo? Well, you'll find out. And so yeah, let me read you the synopsis on this one. It says, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. After the divorce, all Jackson wanted was to spend the weekend with his father. He just didn't count on his dad pushing him to go into the haunted house at the carnival. Soon, Jackson is immersed in a colorful world of white paint, floppy shoes, rainbow overalls, and blood, all ruled by the psychotic Father Clown. And there's no escape, not from under this big top. And that's what this is about. It's about a kidnapped kid who ends up getting immersed in the world of freaky clowns with weird rituals and weird happenings. And again, I don't want to give too much away because it's a creepy, weird story. But good news for you is you can get this story for free. How can you get it for free? Very simple. Sign up for my newsletter. You get a free electronic copy of this story. If you wish to support it in terms of physical format or even just the ebook in general, it's available at all the usual outlets, so you know where to pick that up. It could be Amazon, Barnes & Noble, whatever. You can even ask for it through your local bookstore and they'll get it in for you. But yeah, this little mini book is a special book. It's a fun book, but it's also very, very creepy and very disturbing. And the elements within, the white paint and the bloodshot eyes and the blood and the psychosis of a overseeing, basically cult leader, is all explored in the pages of The Dance of Mervo and Father Clown. So I invite you to tune in to this book. I was going to say tune into this episode and I had to improvise. Isn't that fun? All right. What I meant is you need to check out this book. Why? Because it will twist your brain and then turn it upside down. And I want people to explore that, because that was the point of writing this story, was to write something different, to write something that made your head go in a circle, that kind of thing. And that's the point. And we're dealing with clowns. Clowns, well, they can be psychotic. I mean, we look at the Joker, right? But anyway, yeah, this is what this is all about. It's about a kidnapping. It's about brainwashing. It's about a cult. It all takes place under the big top with Mervo and Father Clown. So thanks for tuning in for this little book spotlight episode on this little book, and we'll see you next book spotlight.